Meeting of the, you all ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, meeting of the Scituate Board of Health, Wednesday, April 18th, Selectmen's Chamber, Town Hall, 6 PM. Make a motion to accept the agenda and call it to order.
Motion to open meeting and accept the agenda, Wednesday, April 18th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, schedule items. Discuss vote septic system design hearing, 62 Glades Road, Westgate Surveying and Engineer representing homeowner. Request for all of installation of septics regarding local upgrades and variances.
So I received an email from the engineer requesting that you,
Greg's still the engineer?
no, this is Westgate Surveying and Engineering.
Oh, so this still says Greg.
Well, he did the Title V inspection report as the inspector.
All right.
So the engineering company doing the design work is Westgate Surveying and Engineering.
Yeah.
He reached out to us yesterday asking if he could continue to April 30th so that they could square away some of the items associated with the house and the septic design. So, so I provided you the last page of your packet, because the packet was created with the understanding that they would be presenting today. The last page of your packet is a suggested motion for you to open and continue to April 30th, so he can come before you then.
And that's what we want to do?
Yes.
That's what you want to do, Jen?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion to open and continue the hearing on 62 Glades Road septic system repair plan to the meeting scheduled for April 30th, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I will let him know that that was granted.
Okay.
Discuss and vote enforcement actions related to required septic system operation and maintenance requirements, Leiden on 65 Hollitt Street.
Okay, so, if you recall, the property owner was scheduled to come before you,
Yeah.
at the 2/26/18 meeting. The owner failed to attend, and therefore you gave, the owner, a final 21 days to rectify the situation, or it would be discussed at this meeting, at which time you would discuss and potentially determine enforcement, which could include deeming the dwelling unfit for human habitation and associated condemnation orders and orders to vacate.
So tell us again what the violations are, Jen?
So the property owner has not had an active operations and maintenance contract for her septic system, which includes a fast treatment unit, since November of 2015.
Okay.
Been working on this since.
Pumping records, anything? Do we know of anything? or-
I have no records of any required maintenance.
Okay.
So, in advance of the meeting, I reached out to the operator, to see if the homeowner had made any, attempt to come into compliance. And as of yesterday, the owner has signed a maintenance contract and the account is active, with the operator scheduled to go to the property for maintenance and the necessary repairs on Friday, April 27th. The fast unit media is scheduled to be cleaned and the system also pumped at that time. I am encouraged, finally, that there's a little bit of progress being made here, but this particular owner has promised the board at the last time that you considered condemnation, told the board that she was not going to attend the meeting and that she would take care of it, in a less than pleasant letter to you, if you recall. So I'm still recommending that you move forward with the plan to conduct a condemnation hearing on May 14th, if these actions aren't completed.
So we're gonna give her 3.5 weeks, and then make a motion to either report to us or report to you, or what would you like?
So, my thought on this is, with the action scheduled to be conducted on April 27th, that would, in theory, allow me to report to you at our meeting on April 30th.
So you should know by then if they actually showed up and did what they did.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm recommending, so that additional time isn't lost, if for whatever reason, the process doesn't continue in this positive direction, I'm recommending that you schedule a hearing for May 14th. It can always be canceled. But schedule a hearing for May 14th to determine if you would find the dwelling unfit for human habitation.
So I guess I'm looking through here, some of the dates just crisscross, but this is the last one, Monday, April 16th. Hi Jen, yes, we received a partial payment contract. Steve is reviewing it. Her letter declined 2 of our recommendations, pumping, and she wants to purchase the fast blower online. So that's where you say she signed the contract, but she's not following through with what's going on.
So on Tuesday, April 17th,
Is that
I thought I had included in that packet.
The last one is the 16th.
Last one's the 16th?
Yeah, that's,
So let me give you this. Oh, it's right there.
Have you talked to her, Jen?
No, she does not communicate.
agreement made this day, January 3rd, 2018.
So, and she's blown us off knowingly twice.
Right.
Yes.
So she was sent a certified letter to come to this meeting too? Right.
She did sign for the certified letter associated with this
The
meeting.
email the other day, that was what you said in the email the other day, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, she signed for it on March 24th, which provided the date, the time, and the place of this hearing, and what you would consider.
And she was supposed to also be at the 26th.
February
So-
26th meeting, and she was also supposed to be at a previous meeting.
Is she living at is she living at the address?
Yes.
She is.
So she's moving forward, but we just want to hold our ground until we know it's moved forward all the way.
Right.
And I had no problem with that because she didn't show up to even represent herself, so we're only hearing one side of the story.
Right.
That's
And
all
when-
we've got to base ourselves
Right.
on.
And when she was
So-
supposed to be here in 2017, she indicated that she wasn't coming because she was moving forward. And
Right.
it took me reaching out
Oh,
6
no,
months later
I get
to
it. No, we
find
might
out
as
she
well
wasn't.
hold our course as well, and hopefully she stays on this course, and it's a moot point.
I'm hopeful.
I think I see that, but I agree with you, and especially where, yeah, no, I have no problem.
So is this
Yeah.
motion the exact way you want it read?
That would be my suggestion to you. Should be the,
You
should be
okay
the
with
very
that?
last page of your packet, is my suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah, because next Friday is when supposedly they're pumping it.
So
But she
you'll
said
give her
she's
2
buying the
months?
blower?
What's that?
She wants to buy the blower?
Yeah, yeah, she's buying it online.
And then they'll install
They
it?
will install it, yeah.
So should we put something there about Monday, the 30th, having an update? Or that's fine the way?
So-
Like,
so I would-
It's more work for her.
So I would put that, I can put that under old business, just to provide you an update. I wouldn't request that she comes.
Okay.
But
No,
I
because
can-
if this deal gets fixed, you can just make it all go away.
Correct, correct.
Okay.
I can give you an update.
But if she doesn't, then we move forward on our end.
Right, for the
we
May,
have to.
for the first May meeting.
Right.
So
Okay.
next meeting, I would give you an update under old business. I think
Okay.
just an update, not call her in, and then hopefully it'll be a good update.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Russell, you're done with this motion then?
I am, yep,
Yep.
yep, I believe so.
All right, make a motion, move to notify the owner and occupants of the dwelling located at 65 Holland Street that the Board of Health would consider issuing a finding that the dwelling is unfit for human habitation that may result in condemnation and in order to vacate in accordance with 105 CMR 410.000 at a public hearing conducted on May 14, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So just to follow up, Jen, the person doing the work, this is Stephen Nelson, they're gonna follow up with you next Friday or next Monday, just to, because if
Yes.
she doesn't communicate, you're going to.
Yes, I'm in a fairly regular communication with
This
the
guy.
operator's assistant, and she's very quick to give me
Okay.
good
Okay.
updates,
All right.
yeah.
All right.
New business, director's report.
Jeez, huh?
Well, it's just a shame that you have to do all the legwork to do that, you know what I mean? I mean, you have to reach out, you have to make
Follow
sure,
up.
follow up, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, she should be called on the carpet, but we'll give her to May 14th. That's just my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
No, I agree, especially where they're, doesn't have the right time of the day to come in and help. And it's been going on since 2015.
15, yeah. I've been
But as
working on
Russell
it
said,
since
we only
early
have,
September.
it's only our side of the story, we don't know.
Right.
Our side of the story, so. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right.
All right, Director, report to us.
All right, so I have a lot to report on, actually, some positive things as well. So food inspections conducted between March 18th and March 23rd. We had 25 total, which includes 4 from St. Patrick's Day, 2 follow-up storm checks from when we lost power. Those were 2 outstanding ones that we couldn't access because they weren't around. 1 garbage issue, 1 odor complaint, 2 pre-operations, and no re-inspections. So that's good news.
That's awesome news.
Very good
Yeah,
news.
great.
We are already receiving Heritage Days applications. We are actively following up on catering registrations. As I mentioned in previous meetings, we put together a new catering registration form, I think better instructions, and we're actively engaging with folks that we find out about, so that hopefully with new education, we're getting the registration forms in accordance with the state and federal regulations, so that, heaven forbid, something happens, we know what was served where and to whom, and it's much more easier to follow up. So I think we're moving in the right direction on catering. We're also working on a farmer's market specific permit application, hopefully making it a little bit easier for the permittees to know what they need to provide to us based on what they're selling. So my goal is to have, if you're selling meats of any kind, in addition to the application package and the check, this is the documentation we want. So that there's no questions back and forth, it saves Joan hopefully some follow-up, and it's very clear to them so that they're ready to go for the season and they know what they need to provide at the onset. So kind of a pet project we've been mulling about and trying to take on and trying to get it finalized
So are there
for
different
the season.
licensings, or would there be refrigeration required? Would there be for meat? And then I have to think there'd be something for seafood, if someone had seafood selling, it would be a little different.
Yep, so for.
And then if somebody was selling honey, that would be,
Yep, so raw honey is exempt. We'd like to know that it's there, just so that we have record it's there, but they would be exempt from permitting. Uncut raw vegetables is also exempt, but we want to know that they're there. Meat, for example, we require confirmation and documentation that the meat was processed in a USDA licensed and inspected facility, so, it's not being carved up in somebody's barn. So there's some minor tweaks, depending on what you're selling, that we want to see as part of the application.
I haven't really thought about it, because when you say meat, I'm thinking about a side of beef or a hamburger or something.
Right.
But what about like beef jerky?
Well, we haven't had beef jerky, but
That's kind of a popular thing these
But
days.
still, it would
Yeah.
need to be processed in a facility that can process it.
Interesting, because I know a lot of people have smokers at home. I could definitely, when I think of that, see that at a farmer's market.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Probably do very well, too.
Yeah. Especially I have family in Michigan, and they do a lot of different.
Smoking and,
Yeah, with venison.
yeah. My
Interesting.
husband's done that once.
Yeah.
So, fascinating.
So I was just curious, that's all, and I'll have to swing down and check it out.
Yeah, Yeah, the farmer market's pretty successful. The winter market was very successful for folks, I think. A lot of foot traffic, very positive. So we'll see what happens. Private well applications, I'm currently reviewing 19. 18 of those are for a large proposed development, and then we have one for a single family home.
Oh, okay, so 18 are for one development?
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that all irrigation, or is that for potable?
Irrigation.
Irrigation.
But of course, with the sampling requirements.
What development?
Seaside and Scituate, Toll Brothers.
Hadley Road.
Hadley Road, yep,
They want 18
18.
to supply X amount of units. Oh, no, it's irrigation.
Yeah, it's irrigation. So a couple for the single family homes on Hathaway, and then a couple scattered around the development. So I'm currently reviewing those.
And the one single one is a potable irrigation, is it?
They're all for irrigation.
All for
Single family homes are for irrigation, and the larger, mixed.
You probably said that and whistled right through, I missed that. So.
All right, all irrigation.
Sorry.
That's
You
okay.
had to repeat yourself.
That's okay. Get me on my toes. We are currently prepping for pool and camp season, even though it doesn't feel like either one of those should be coming anytime soon.
Snow tomorrow.
Yes, so I hear. The peepers are all gonna freeze to death out back.
That April Fool's was 2 weeks ago, holy mackerel.
So the pool packages are put together. They actually go out at the end of the week for all of our potential permittees, of which there are 8. We have 8 pools in town. So that is getting underway. The recreational camp regulations were revised and recently promulgated, like this month promulgated. So they just released all of the associated guidance documents, application packages, inspection forms, etc. So within the next week, we're gonna have to review, revise, and send out our application package to our new camp in town, so that we can get them ready for the season. Thankfully, their director has been following the regulation changes. We've been working together so that they're aware of what's coming. So it should be a fairly smooth transition, even though we're learning as we're permitting and inspecting. So it'll be a little bit of patience for both ends of the process, both the applicant and us. But we have a really good relationship with our existing camp, so it should go smoothly. Housing, we have 9 cases now, which is 1 less than we had the last time we met. We have 2 active nuisance cases, which is 2 less than the last time. There are the potential for a couple of more to come on board, depending on some preliminary investigation, but current news is good news, 2 less.
Well put.
So we're still tracking 6 environmental release and compliance cases, one of which just submitted a closure document to DEP, so I'll be reviewing that. So with any luck, I'll be able to report to you that there are 5 in the next couple of meetings. Septic, whew. We have issued 5 certificates of compliance in the last 2 days. 3 of which were received within the last week for requests. The other 2 were outstanding for quite some time that we've been waiting for documentation for. I'm reviewing 2 revised plans, both of which were received last week. Comments will go out on 1 tomorrow, and then I hope to review the second one by the end of this week. We have 3 new plans actively being reviewed. They were received between April 6th and April 10th. We have 3 outstanding operations and maintenance repairs. One is the one that we just discussed on Hollitt. 2 are still kind of in the administrative process, hopefully not having to come before you, but we'll see. And we have 1 outstanding operations and maintenance contract that the original letter sent to them reminding them of the requirement was not picked up. So I'm going to give it 1 more go, and then potentially have to have them served. We are working with a variety of homeowners on post-storm septic repairs, some of which are through the emergency declaration and associated permitting, or lack thereof, more notification than permitting. Others are not part of the declaration, so they're going through formal permitting processes. There's more and more of those coming as folks come and check out their houses and start to get ready for the season. So that's really just starting to ramp up. We currently have 14 systems in failure, which by numbers is one less than the last time we met. But we have 2 new ones since our last meeting. So we've kind of traded. Some have brought into compliance, others are newly identified. So the breakdown is we have 1 awaiting the as-built review to issue the certificate of compliance. So it's installed, as-built received. I have 1 installed, but no as-built received to date. As I mentioned, 2 new identified failures since the last meeting. 4 are still within the initial repair window that we give them of 1 year, so they still have time. We have 5 of these 14 with no occupancy orders. So they can sit forever in theory, as long as the dwelling is not occupied. And then we have 2 that are in active enforcement with you. Some good news. The vaccine revolving fund that you supported to go to town meeting, so that it goes from the flu revolving fund to the vaccine revolving fund, allowing Eileen to use those funds for flu and other vaccines like pneumonia and shingles, rabies. That was passed at town meeting. So come July 1, Eileen will be able to diversify and expand her vaccination offerings, which is pretty exciting. And then other exciting news, she also hosted the Dana-Farber mammography mobile van this past Monday, so Patriots Day Monday, and she had best turnout yet. 23 women were served by the van, so we're very, very, very happy with the turnout. And,
Are they happy with the turnout?
very happy, very happy. And they had 4 walk-ons. So they had 4 people who saw the van, either walked up and said, can I do this? Or called and said, hey, can I do this? And they were able to participate. So very exciting stuff.
Excellent.
Good preventive health.
Excellent.
That's what I got.
Old business, other business, administrative invoices, approvals, meeting minutes, January 29th, 2018, February 12th, 2018, and February 21st, 2018.
Okay, so the February 21st meeting minutes are just Doug and Steve, so I'll send that one down the line. And then the January 29th and February 12th are for all 3 of you.
So dare I ask where we're with, 12 Curtis Ave?
There were 2 outstanding items.
You've been there a couple times.
Yep, as of last inspection, there were 2 outstanding items. I received a message today that the representative for the owner believes they are complete. So I'll be conducting a follow-up inspection in the next few days.
They cleaned up the oil spill, right?
Well, that's a completely separate item that will follow the DEP timeline, which will be longer.
What's the timeline?
There's a whole series of reporting requirements that can, ultimately take a couple of years for cleanup.
Couple of years.
The regulations allow you to take, take time, but,
You didn't seep the groundwater in a couple of years?
well, it can seep through groundwater in a matter of days, depending on the depth to groundwater.
So the DEP makes that determination?
Well, so they hire a licensed site professional to do the work on the behalf, do the reporting, and then ultimately report up to DEP.
John, the one we had at the library is pretty good, seeing how you weren't typing on a computer for that one. That's pretty good. So, the only thing I saw with it, and I don't know if he'd have a problem with it, is I believe Sean Harris is SHAWN, but he just money on it.
Yeah.
So when you make a motion to approve, just make a motion
Yeah.
to approve with that change.
Yeah. All right, so I make a motion to approve the February 21st meeting minutes with Doug and I with the proposed change of changing Selectman Sean Harris's first name from SCAN to SHAWN.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that one's good. That's
What was
done.
the date of that, I'm sorry?
That was 21.
Okay, thanks.
What was 2?
That's the one you sent out.
It's taking me longer to read this than it did at the meeting.
A lot of details.
Got a lot of details.
Joan does an exemplary job of doing these.
Absolutely.
Yes.
This is me, I read the first word still.
Is that,
The.
which one are you reading there?
The,
Is that
Uh,
January 29th?
January 29th, yeah.
Is that the McDonald's?
Yes.
Yeah. I think I read that on my phone.
yeah, I think I read that. That's the other one.
I scan this one quick. I just keep seeing Mr. Clark here, and I says, "Man, my dad was here today." Who is this Mr. Clark?
I don't like being called Mrs. Keith. No. There's somebody else with that name in our family.
I'm sure she's just a year or two older than you, that's
That's
about
right.
it.
That's right.
You want to make a motion that we both agreed on that one?
Sure, make a motion to accept the Board of Health meeting minutes of February 12, 2018.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I worked for a Keefe family, and it was always Mrs. Keefe, and John would say, "It's not Mr. Keefe, that's my dad.
That's right, that's right.
It's John," that's what I go by.
Yep, for me.
But I
it's
still
like
couldn't
another
shake the
one.
Mrs. Keefe, it was my upbringing, that was my respect. Just ran into them the other day, had a nice conversation.
Fine with this one. Who won't make a,
Make a motion to accept the Board of Health meeting minutes for January 29th, 2018?
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Invoices.
Ooh, Not somebody remembered.
You didn't think you were getting out of here that easy, did you?
No, Joan wouldn't let me.
That's what I get paid the big bucks for. Remind you.
That's right. We need those reminders. We sent them.
Business card, you going into business?
No. It's taken a few years to use the ones we have, getting down to the last few.
Oh, there you go. You get a box of 500.
Yeah.
You actually get business cards, Jen?
We do.
Joan, you get them too?
Yeah.
Is this the same? or-
I mean, in large, I don't want them.
No, that's a different.
Three. Yeah, that's the right page. I don't know why it's on the, why it's signature's on the first page, but yeah, it's page 33. So you print out like, I don't know why, three,
So just the one signature?
yeah.
All right, make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.